Hello guys, I'm Ace, and today I'm here with best fighting games you can play on your Android device. Well, fighting games may not be the most popular genre anymore, but the people who still love the genre are among the most loyal of any gamers. Unfortunately, fighting games haven't been as rampant on Android as many would have hoped, and there aren't many amazing options available. That said, we found some of the best fighting games for Android that we'd like to share with you. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future updates. First on our list is Azure Cross. Azure Cross is a two-dimensional fighting game in which the players control different characters and participate in different game modes, including a very complete story mode. Players can use 3 main characters from the beginning, but they can only unlock the rest of the characters by buying them separately by earning in-game money. However, even if you can't play with certain characters yet, you can still fight against them. The most interesting part is certainly the game's complex story mode, in which you create your own path by making a series of decisions that normally end in fighting other characters. Aside from the awesome story mode, Azure Cross lets you play against other human players using Bluetooth, which means you can play against anyone who also has the game installed on their Android device. Azure Cross is a 2D fighting game with powerful graphics, a long, entertaining story mode, and, above all, great game mechanics that are perfectly suited to playing on touchscreen devices. Samurai Showdown II. Samurai Showdown II is one of the few pure combo fighting games on Android. It has a single cost, so there are no freemium traps to get boggled up in. It comes with 15 characters that you can play with, along with an expansive list of movies, special moves, and other mechanics. It also has 2 control schemes, so you can play casually or for real if you prefer. It also comes with local online multiplayer over Bluetooth if your friends have the game installed. It's a classic and is one of the console-ported fighting games worth playing. Shadow Fight 2. Shadow Fight 2 is a 2D fighting game where players control a shadow warrior who arms himself with loads of different weapons to try to defeat all the enemies in his path. Although you can fight barehanded using just your legs and fists to attack your enemy, in Shadow Fight 2 you can also buy and use dozens of different weapons and spells. The battle system for Shadow Fight 2 differs quite a lot from that of most 2D fighting games. To control your hero, you have to use a joystick that lets you move in all directions. In addition, depending on where you have the joystick, when you press the attack button, you'll do different movements. Shadow Fight 2 is a 2D fighting game with fantastic graphics where both its aesthetics and character animations stand out. The enormous number of enemies and weapons also gives loads of variety to the game. And if you don't know, let me tell you that Shadow Fight 3 will soon launch on Android, iOS and Windows devices. Ultimate Fighting Championship. UFC is the official video game of UFC, which is the biggest and most important mixed martial arts company in the world, and the meeting point of some of the most prestigious and dangerous fighters in the world. In this video game, you can control more than 70 fighters from the UFC circuit. You'll only have access to one fighter at first, and have the opportunity to unlock more as you progress in the game. Once you choose your fighter and jump into the octagon, where you can control your fighter with the intuitive control system created by EA. Through a combination of taps and swipes on the screen, you can carry out all types of attacks, from jabs and uppercuts to combos and floor attacks. Slashers. The power battle. Slashers slashes its way to bring back the old 2D fighting game spirit and challenge with simple game mechanics and tactical gameplay. It's an unofficial remake of Dual Blades of Game Boy Advance. Game has cartoon-like graphics which are not that good. For battle you can choose from 10 unique fighters with different abilities. Controls of the game are simple. 4 attack buttons, slash, big slash, kick, power. Ultra responsive smart virtual pad makes a fighting game playable on touchscreen devices. Game also features cross-platform online versus play and ranking system, where you can fight players from all over the world. Combo system is very good in the game. You can create your own combos with features like parry, recovery, free cancel, power escape, throw escape and limit break attacks. The King of Fighters 2012. Popular 2D versus fighting game The King of Fighters 2012 returned as a free app to celebrate King of Fighters 20th anniversary. If you like classic fighting games, The King of Fighters 2012 should be on your list of titles to download. This game features a really good old school graphic and 2D fighting style system. There are 32 characters that you can play with. Game features 6 game modes that include single battle, team battle, endless mode, challenge mode, time attack and training. The virtual pad perfectly reproduces COS's smooth controls, and even novice players will be able to release various special moves, super special moves, Neomax super special moves, and other complex moves in one touch. Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter possesses highly detailed graphics and worked animation, where each character has a large supply of blows. Fights happen in 11 various locations and you can battle with your friends via Bluetooth. Fight in an intense martial arts tournament. Choose from many heroes, each with a unique fighting style. Punch, kick, jump and throw, block enemy attacks, and perform combo attacks to inflict more damage onto your enemy. In this Android game you will meet the heroes of the famous series of games again. Practice and fight players from around the world. Win fights and increase your rating. Face increasingly stronger opponents and become the best in the world. Soulcalibur. Soulcalibur is a classic console fighting game from one of the best fighting game franchises that ever existed. This is a complete port of the first installment of the series, and features all of the characters, game modes, storyline, and controls from the first game. The touchscreen controls work well, and it doesn't take long until you're belting out combos. The 5 game modes and 19 character cast helps keep it interesting. It's one of the more faithful console ports that we've ever seen, and it's worth a shot if you don't mind the price. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Street Fighter Alpha 3 is mostly the traditional one-on-one fighting game battle you'd expect, but with a few twists. Alpha 3 introduces some new tweaks to the combat that make it feel quite different from other Street Fighter games. You've got recovery moves for use when on the receiving end of an opponent's attacks, which let you escape additional damage. There's also a guard meter that prevents overly defensive players from doing nothing but block, while pecking away at their opponents with light attacks. Defend too much, and your guard will be shattered, leaving you completely vulnerable for a dangerous instant. Alpha 3 discards the manual and auto modes from the previous Alpha games, by offering the player 3 different playing styles known as isms. Additionally, each of the 3 fighting styles profoundly affects the speed, strength, and damage resistance of a player in different ways. Xism provides the highest overall strength of the 3 styles, with the slowest speed and the worst defense. Vism has the highest speed and defense, but attacks deliver the least damage, and Aism ostensibly features the middle ground on all 3 factors. For battle you have got one of the biggest selection of characters the series has ever seen, clocking in at around 40 different faces. Infinite Fighter. Infinite Fighter is a game where you do not have to memorize hard commands to perform combos of different characters. Infinite Fighter has slide action control system which allows you to easily and intuitively action control the character. Just touch and slide. The game has story, arcade, survival, AI battle, raid and training mode. Though, developers are still working on online multiplayer battles, but you can still fight and enjoy with your friend via Bluetooth connection battle. So guys, this brings us to the end. Thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future updates. Also don't forget to share this video with your gamer friends. If you have any suggestions, be sure leave them in the comments section below. I will be back with another video soon. Till then, peace.